Welcome to the final forum in the SRC Back-to-School Series. I'm your host, Winsome Sherrier Witter, and our focus, Region 7 Readiness, making sure that families, educators, and support systems are aligned and empowered for the new school year that's really coming fast at us. So from early childhood to vocational training, we will explore practical strategies, guidance, and available support across all stages of learning. So you want to stay tuned, share the link for those who have not yet joined us. We are really excited here at Serenity Resource Connector to share that this forum is supported by Jamaica Public Service, JPS, who have generously provided 8 back-to-school book vouchers valued at $5,000 each from Sangsters and Kingston Bookstore to assist families this term. And we've already had the entries rolling in, but just to let you know that to be eligible for tonight's giveaway, you should have already downloaded the MyJPS mobile app or followed at MyJPS online on social media. Send your name and screenshot via WhatsApp to 876-871-8960. And submission closed at 7 p.m. And I saw some entries coming in after 7 p.m. Hopefully, you're still in the running. But if you have already completed those steps that I mentioned earlier, be sure to comment during this live forum. I'm tuned in and ready for back to school. Let me put it on screen to help you get it done. If you're already here, make sure you put in the comment, I'm tuned in and ready for back to school. All right, so winners will be announced on our platforms. So be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and our WhatsApp channel to stay connected and never miss future giveaways. Across all platforms, it's Serenity Resource Connector. And we are honored to be joined this evening by key representatives from the Ministry of Education Region 7, the Early Childhood Commission, and Heart NSTA Trust, each bringing valuable insights to help us prepare confidently for September and beyond. Take away some of the anxiety, just get you started on a good footing. So we are going to get started with the team from Region 7, our Regional Director, Sir Barrington Richardson. Welcome back to the SRC space, Sir Richardson.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. And we also have joining us Lady Christine Russell-Lewin, our Education Social Worker for Region 7. Welcome back, Lady Russell. This is what, your third time here?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, great. All right, Khadisha Plummer. This name sounds very familiar. I'm tuned and ready for back to school. Samantha, all right. So they are making sure that they secure their book vouchers. Samantha Campbell Minor, thank you. Fantastic. So now that we have identified 2 of our first runners for the back to school vouchers, let's get you some valuable information as we get started for the school year. So Richardson, what does back to school readiness look like across Region 7 this academic year? And what are the ministry's key focus areas?
Wow, we're happy to be supporting our schools as we wrap up the summer holidays. And so let me just wish all our educators happy summer. And I hope you are resting. I hope you are doing what it is required to make you ready for the new academic year. So as a region, the region of purpose that is positioned to serve, we serve 112 public schools, and we are in earnest in supporting our schools in terms of their infrastructure. And so we would have completed approximately 12 schools already in terms of termite treatment, just to ensure that the physical environment for those schools that are so affected are ready to receive both our students and our teachers. We continue to ensure that other aspects of the school plant is ready, such as partitions for classrooms. Furniture is being delivered as I speak for those schools in need, both for teachers, yes, for teachers this year, as well as for our students. It's not enough, but the process has begun. And so we really want our teachers to be comfortable as they engage and deliver exciting teaching engagement for our students. In terms of our school leaders, we just completed our school leadership conference, which was held in July, where we had approximately 240 school leaders in a residential, all-inclusive environment, just to ensure that we provide additional leadership tools in their toolkits so that they can be ready to implement the policies and directives of the ministry. So one of those that is a key focus for us at this time as a ministry, and of course as a region, is our curriculum instruction and assessment roadmap. We call it for short the CIA roadmap. This is really how we have reorganized learning for all our learners, irrespective where they fall. So whether they are high performers or they are struggling learners that need a little bit more scaffolding, or they are students with special needs, the ministry has taken time to look at the landscape across the sector and have organized or reorganized how we cater to our learners. And so our grades 1 to 3 teachers in the summer were trained and they were exposed to early reading intervention strategies so that we can begin to support our learners at the lower end. So as they move across from grade to grade, then we can have better learning outcomes. So we are right there with them, supporting, and we continue to do more as we enter into the new academic year.
Amazing. And I saw the excitement coming out of that whole team building exercise there. We keep seeing them popping up. NCB has been showing off all the highlights.
Yes.
Amazing stuff there. All right. So, of course, with all the excitement, the preparation of our educators, there are always some challenges. Share with us what are some of the recurrent challenges schools face in term 1 and how Region 7 supporting principals and educators to respond effectively.
Term 1 is the term that we try to ensure we get most things done. It's like building that house to last through the disaster. And so we are building the foundation. And so one of the first things that we aim to do for this term 1 is to ensure that we provide support for our new school leaders. We have a number of principals, vice principals that are going on their earned, well-deserved vacation leave. And so we have new school leaders emerging as of September. And so early in September, we will be having our new school leaders seminar to ensure that we provide them with the tools and the support and a safe space that they can indeed be impactful in their role as new school leaders. So that's one. Secondly, we, through our quality education circles, our education officers have already begun to organize small group roundtable conversations and support initiatives, not just for our school leaders, but also for our teachers. You would have heard the minister announce, and our ministry on a whole, about supporting our early grade students, such as grades 1 through to 3. And so those teachers will be targeted to help them to implement what is required at that early level. And so we want to ensure that as we commence our new academic year, that our teachers, our principals, feel supported by what will be happening. And so a number of things will be happening, to include our board fora to provide support to our board chairs. They are the ones who are providing governance. And so we want to ensure that they are also aligned to the transformation agenda within the ministry, so they too can lead the charge in supporting their principals and the teams that they lead at their local institutions.
Fantastic. And of course, they can't do this by themselves. So how can parents and educators strengthen collaboration to improve student outcomes? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, improving the outcome for our children, especially during the early weeks of the new term, when you're laying out that solid foundation to build on.
Our parents are critical components to success. Any school that we would have seen across the world that would have celebrated excellence and great achievements, you can always look for that parent-school support component. And so I want to say to our parents, you are critical, not just to the school's success, but to your child's success. And so we ask you to pay attention to the circulars, to the bulletins, both from the ministry and also from your child's school. There are several meetings that are convened to provide information, to provide strategies, and also to create that space where you have a voice to share. And so first PTAs are important. Class meetings are important. Teacher consultation, important. A matter of fact, if you don't have a formal invitation, create your own. Visit your child's school, get to know the teachers, show up. There's no school in Region 7 will say to a parent, we cannot have you in our school. All our school leaders have committed to partnering with our parents. And so we say, visit your child's school, speak with your child's teacher, get to know all the persons who are involved in molding your child. And that is the winning formula as you set a solid foundation for term 1 of the new academic year.
Thank you so much. And with that, we're expecting to see the PTA meetings fully supported by our parents, not just the first one, because you want to keep tabs on what's going on throughout the year, because that's how you're going to provide the support that the children need, because they need the support as they go forward. Let me just pause to acknowledge Leah_Leah 876, who registered that she's tuned in and ready for back to school. I hope you're still there on Instagram. I see you, Sir Dixon. Thank you for joining us. All right. And for the others, we're seeing you, Team ECC. We are seeing you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right. Let's take the conversation over to our education social worker, Lady Lewin. What are some of the real-life challenges families are facing at the start of the school year, and how can schools provide meaningful support?
Great evening to you, Lady Witter, and to Sir Richardson, and all the wonderful people who are listening and joining us. Challenges are real and they're always here, and we have to just prepare for them, and we have to roll with them as they come and plan and just live. And we talk about psychological challenges or the emotional challenges, not to forget the financial challenges. That one is usually a big one, because the psychological and the emotional comes with the anxiety and the attachment. I want to send them off and get rid of them now, and as well as I don't want them to go. So you have that kind of challenge. And you also have the expenses, the back to school expenses, especially for parents who have not 1, not 2, but 3, 4, 5, and the list goes on. And at the different levels of the education system, the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary, the expenses varied. So you have also the challenges of balancing parents balancing planning for the psychological, the emotional, and the financial, and also balancing their work life to ensure that they're able to attend the meetings, they're able to visit the schools and get the updates. So those are some of the challenges that we are looking at right now. But I would say to them, take them one day at a time. Take them as they come and just prepare for them. And that is really what we as a school and as ministry encourage our parents to do as we guide them in the process.
Fantastic. And thanks again to JPS for helping to alleviate some of the pressure for 8 blessed parents who will be walking away with gift vouchers valued at $5,000 to be spent at Sangster's or Kingston Bookshop. And for the tertiary, we have something to share. So you want to stick with us to the end of the program. All right. So Lady Lewin, finally in this segment, what advice would you give to parents or guardians who feel overwhelmed or unsure about how to navigate the back-to-school period, especially when dealing with emotional, financial, or behavioral concerns?
As the spiritual aspect would say, be anxious for nothing. And so minimize the anxiety with living one at a time. It is important to plan, and it is never late to. So have your checklist. Check off where you are at, and if you are not there yet, take your time, reach out to your family support system. It's always important to communicate, to say what is happening, say what is it that you need. And as Mr. Richardson would say, go to the school, get additional information, because the lack thereof can heighten the anxiety, not knowing what to do. And sometimes you're not able to go to the new school to get that information, but you have a connection with your previous school. Talk with that teacher, talk with that principal or the guidance counselors who are an advocate who is always there to provide the relevant information and the psychosocial support to you parents. So it's a good time to connect with stakeholders from your community, connect with your church group, because that group can also help, connect with scholarship opportunities, just connect with persons who you are able to reach out to get added information. And most importantly, communicate what is happening, where you are at, say where you need to go, and of course, take it one day at a time. Because guess what? Rome is not built in a day, and you can't fix everything at the same time. So take it slowly. We also have the Ministry of Education Office, Region 7. We are at 42 Longbridge Avenue at the Versailles Hotel. So come and visit us if you have any concerns. And we're really there to talk with you and to walk you through what needs to be done if you feel like you're not there yet. So I'm encouraging our parents to just take their time, put things on paper, walk through what is it that you need to do, and connect with somebody. Support is always important. As we say, get the communication going.
All right, so there you have it. You do not have to do this alone. There's support, and that's what we do here at the Serenity Resource Connector to help you to see what's available, connect you, let you know how you can access the support that's around you, and the rest is up to you, because information will only remain information until you take action. And right. Our aim is that you will take action, utilize the information that you get in this space so that you can change your life and the lives of those around you, the little people that you are responsible for. So let me thank you both for grounding us with those insights. Now let's explore how parents can support their youngest learners with the Early Childhood Commission. Don't go anywhere. We will need you back later on as we wrap up. All right, so joining me on screen is Chevelle Campbell, Early Childhood Development Psychologist. Welcome, Lady Campbell.
Thank you for having me. Good evening, Winsome, and good evening to everyone who is listening or joining in on this platform.
All right, we might have to turn the phone the other way for now because you're cutting off somewhat, and we don't want that at all, because I know Team ECC likes to capture the right. So let's work with it this way. All right, so we don't miss anything. So let's get into it. What are the most important readiness indicators for young children entering basic or infant school for the first time?
So I know it's a very emotional time for parents, especially when you have the little ones going off. So I want the information to be captured in what I call once your child is in peak form. So I'm using an acronym. So first, the P, problem solving. If your child is able to solve problems, you realize that they have certain levels of emotional intelligence to do basic conflict resolution. You know, they can speak up for themselves, they can help themselves. You realize that they have a certain maturity level for their age. Once they have those problem solving skills done, and you can outline those as a parent, you know that they are already 1 foot in and ready to go. The second letter, I would say it's an E. So once you realize that the child is ready for exploration, they're ready to learn. So when they're going in, they don't need to learn all the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s yet. But what you need them to do is to have an attitude where they are ready and willing to learn. And once that is there, then again, your child is ready. The next one is the adaptability and the attention span. So when the children going in, we know small children, their attention levels and attention spans are usually very short. But you want them to be able to sit and focus because school is a new environment. So these are some of the things that you look for. And adaptability. So before school starts, sometimes some of the things that you can do is maybe have someone watch them maybe for more than 2 hours, because if you, especially if you are usually the primary caregiver. So once they are in that new environment, they're able to adapt. And the crying is normal, especially when they just go in, but you want them to stop crying by the end of week 1. So those adaptability skills are some of the things that you can start working on parents, as parents. And if you see those skills, then you know that your child is ready. And finally, the K, which is basically the knowledge. So if you realize that, especially you have your 3-year-old and they're going to start and they can do basic self-help, they can help themselves in the bathroom, they can communicate their needs, they can get basic things, they can follow like a little bit more than 1-step instruction, 3-step instructions. So if those are some of the things and you realize that they have the knowledge base to take care of themselves, then I would say your child is in peak condition and ready for school, even though it may be hard for the parents.
You're right about that, because I think it's more difficult for the parents than the children sometimes.
I think
But we trust that the parents will get some support as well, because as they say, support is always available. And I know that the Early Childhood Commission has a robust system where they provide that kind of support for the parents. So get the support that you need. So once the little ones are in school, help the parents now in terms of some simple routines or habits that they can build at home to support daily learning and behavior at the early childhood level.
All right. So children, a lot of us, we're talking about routines. You mentioned it, and it's a very key aspect to childhood development. Children thrive in routine. So some of the simple routines that you can do is like your morning routines. So they're going to go out in this new world with different people, and sometimes little children can also be mean. So what you want to do is to ensure that your child's self-esteem is all the way up there. So one of the things that you can do is practice affirmations in the morning. Remind your child that you're beautiful, you're strong. Just let them know that all the things that are good about them, you remind them. So when they face this new world, this new environment, that they are ready. Also, you want to ensure that you help the children in a routine that makes it easier for you as a parent. So the night before, you ensure that you tell them to put the shoe here. You ensure that the shoe is clean. Maybe they can't do much, but maybe they can put the shoe in an area where you'll see it to wipe it. You'll remind them, because they can follow instruction to take the things out the bag, so that in the morning you have a clean bag so you can just pack it. These are the routines. You ensure that they have a healthy breakfast, and you teach them to chew while they're seated with their mouths closed. The little things like those that you can teach them. Also in the afternoon, early childhood, it's new, but they get a lot of bonding assignments with parents to do. So you want to ensure that you have a set time when you sit and go through some of the lessons they would have learned throughout the day. You know, what was good about the lesson. Have times when you just talk to the child, listen what happens at school. Because if you just provide that environment for the child to speak freely, then you will learn everything about everyone and everything that happened at school. So you're able to better guide them and to just continue providing that support for the child and also for yourself as a parent.
We're not going to gloss over the bonding assignment because some of the parents just pass it on to someone who is more capable of creating those little clocks and all those fancy stuff. So let the parents understand a little more about the bonding, because he went on to share about hearing everything. So you hear about the different friendship that's brewing, and you as parents, you might not listen, but guess what? Teacher listens, as they are sharing everything with teacher. So whatever you don't want teacher to know, you have to make sure that you keep the home in a particular environment, right? So share a little bit more about the bonding aspect of it so parents can really understand why these assignments are given.
So sometimes the parents will complain and say, why teacher give us so much homework? And, you know, sometimes you mention pay somebody to do the clock and so on. But children learn in multifaceted environments. And one of the things that we're seeing where a lot of children are presenting with different learning styles. So before, maybe it was there before, but we never used to see it or used to pay attention to it. But it's something that we're doing. So when you're doing your assignment with the child, and if teacher gives, for example, something musical, you will be able as a parent to say, hey, you know, when I was doing that particular assignment with my child, I realized that the concepts talk a lot better when I was doing it in a musical form. Or you realize that your child learned better by doing or building something. So maybe you're talking about the clock, and then, you know, you'll learn at some point, you talk about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then just be doing it. You learn what are some of the child's, you know, some of the things that they're anxious about. So they're like, mommy, you know, or daddy, you know, I'm building the clock and I don't think I'll be able to read the clock. You hear some of the things that, you know, they are nervous about. You learn the things that they're confident about, and you get a chance to see their strengths. So I have a lot of parents tell me that, hey, you know, when my child doing the building blocks or the teacher give us, you know, Play-Doh assignments and we're supposed to build, I find that my child is, you know, very enthused during those activities. So sometimes outside of school, when you need to pull them away from the screen, you know what activities they will gravitate to, and you're able to give them more of those activities for early stimulation, so that, you know, you don't have to always have them glued to a screen, which we don't recommend. So you learn about the child when you do these bonding assignments. It's not for you to pay somebody to do and say, boy, teacher stressing you out.
Amazing. Those are some really solid gems, and I trust that our parents will be guided by them. All right. So as we prepare to round out this segment, what should parents do if they feel unsure about whether their child is developmentally ready for school?
All right. So this is one of the things at the Early Childhood Commission that we are encouraging, because, you know, if you're unsure, you know, asking the right persons, getting the earliest intervention, getting the assessments early are always the best way. So for a lot of us have like older adults, we have parents, we have aunts, we have uncles. So your support system, you know, that would be your primary support system. You go to them and you ask them. So for example, you have a 3-year-old and you realize that your 3-year-old not talking. You know, you ask your parents and they'll say, no, man, but you talk at 1 or you talked at 2, and you get that kind of information. But if that is not enough, or you realize that that information is not as solid as you want it to be, they're always your healthcare professionals. So your nurses, your doctors, your pediatricians, or any healthcare provider who may be at the clinic. Because one of the things, you know, that we help, we have an app called the First 1000 Days. that we encourage parents to use. But there's also the blue health passport. That's a lot what we all get when the children are born. That has a basic screener there, and it has the age of the child and things that they should be doing around that age. So it is very important that you utilize these resources that are there, so you can see whether your child is on par or not, and any other. And also you can talk to your development officer or any officer at the Early Childhood Resource Center. So we're right beside Fogar Road Infant School in Clarendon. So if you talk to your pediatrician, or if you talk to your doctor, your parent, or anybody else, and you say, boy, I need some more, we're always there to give that additional information and additional support. And one of the things that we're doing too, in the first year of school, talk to your child's teacher. In the segment before, it was mentioned, talk to your teachers, talk to your teachers. They will give you a lot of insight about what is going on in the schools and with your child. So when your child is 3 years old and they come in, the children will be observed for a full year. And then when they reach 4 years old, they will do what we call the Jamaica School Readiness Assessment, where the teacher will provide feedback and a very primary level screening to see if the child is doing most of what they should be doing at that age. And if they have any concerns, then they will ask the parents for permission to complete a secondary level screening, which is the Ages and Stages questionnaire. So we will see it's a little bit more in depth, and we'll be able to see the areas that the child may have a challenge with, and also provide the parents with steps and instruction, provide the teachers with individual learning support plans to ensure that these children can thrive.
Amazing. All right. Charlene is saying development differ in children. That's for sure. Sophia, the right mindset goes a long way. Great point, Chevelle. Indeed. And just in case you want more information, we have a dedicated series with the Early Childhood Commission. As a matter of fact, we did an entire year in 2022. The playlist is there with the same instrument that you mentioned and others that you can be guided by the first 1,000 days, or 1,000 days?
Exactly.
Right. So all of that is there, and we are currently doing a child rights series, child trafficking, all that you need to know as it relates to your little people and how you can get additional support. All right. Thank you so much, Chevelle. Amazing information there. And let me just, don't go anywhere. We need you back in a little while. All right. So before we go over to the next segment, let Yannick, Maureen, and others know I'm Jean, Patrick, that we note that you're tuned in and ready for back to school. So that's amazing. So just soak up the information, and if there are other parents in your circle that you know need to get this information, please share the link. The recording will remain on YouTube so they can tune in and get the information that they need. All right, so now let's turn our focus to older students and the youth who may be exploring other pathways. And if we're talking about pathways other than the Ministry of Education Regional Office, the next entity that comes to mind, or maybe the top entity that comes to mind for a number of people, Heart NSTA Trust. Stephen Brown, Parish Manager for Clarendon. Welcome.
Yes, man, it's good to be here. It's always good to be here. This is not my first time. Indeed. I love this space. Yes.
That's right. You've been with us from the get-go 2021.
From the inception, yes, man. And I'm still here supporting.
Amazing. And in 5 days, Serenity Resource Connector platform will be officially 4 years old. We have passed the toddler stage.
Yeah, great news. Great news.
Awesome. Always a pleasure to support. So let's share with our young people, the parents. As Mrs. Lewin mentioned earlier, there are some parents who have children at different stages. So there's some at early childhood, some at the primary high school. But of course, there are others who might not be able to go to the universities that they'd want to for different reasons. But we want to let them know there are alternatives that are free.
Yes.
And we want them to understand that. So how can HEART support students who may not be returning to school or those looking for alternative training or skills-based routes?
All right. Thank you very much for that question, Mrs. Witter. I want to say good night to all our viewers on YouTube, our viewers on Facebook, and I heard you say Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah, man, sounding good. I like how you're expanding and sharing the information. So now the HEART NSTA Trust, and I must put this to as the beginning point of the information that I'm sharing, is that we treat with persons 17 years and older. So once you're over the age of, once you're 17 or older, we are able to provide you with an opportunity to further develop yourself. So if you just left high school and you're unsure of which pathway to take, come over to the HEART NSTA Trust. Watch this. If you just left university, if you just left university and you are looking for some internship type of activity, come over to the HEART NSTA Trust. Very important as we move into this new school year. Now, I want to establish that we have what we call work-based learning programs, and we have our institutional training. So institutions that are accessible to persons within Clarendon are institutions like the Ebony Park Academy, that's right down there by Toll Gate. The institution offers programs that surround agriculture. It's a wonderful institution, 500 acres of land, 300 acres dedicated to farming. And we allow our trainees to see all the different farming techniques, both the traditional and the new and emerging, outside of Ebony Park Academy, which is also a residential facility. We have the HEART College of Construction Services right there in Portmore, which is another boarding facility. And I'm going to tell you why I keep on saying that, but it's another boarding facility, and they focus on construction services. In Stony Hill, we have the HEART College of Business Services, persons know it as the Stony Hill HEART Academy. They focus on business services, boarding facility. And over there in St. Ann in Runaway Bay, we have the one and only HEART College of Hospitality Services. We operate a hotel there so persons get real life experience while they're going through their training. And this is also a residential facility. I want you to know that training is 100% free to the trainee up to level 4. I want you to know that the residential facility is also free to the trainee. So you don't have to pay for the accommodation there. You don't have to pay for the training, no registration fee, none of that. It is absolutely free at those 4 boarding institutions. Outside of that, within this space, we have the Old Harbor VTC. If you want to become a mechanic, if you're interested in business, if you're interested in early childhood, if you're interested in a little customer service, you can always reach out to that institution. If you're interested in events planning, among other programs, you can come to the parish office in Clarendon and you can apply for that institution and also the other institutions that I mentioned. So those would be the closest and the most accessible institutions to persons within the Clarendon space. Outside of our institutional training, we have work-based learning. So you just leave high school, you know, you're not so sure what you want to do. You want a little bit of work exposure. you know, we have our work-based learning programs, and to go a little bit more detail, we have a program known as our School Leavers Training Opportunity Program. Once you're between the ages of 17 to 23, you can participate on this program. You must have 2 CXCs. You're on the program for 1 year, and you get a stipend each month. At the end of the program, you will attain a level 2 certification. So if you come on the program and you're placed to do business administration, then you get a business admin certificate. If it is that you are placed in a customer service position, then you do the customer service level 2, and you kind of get the gist of how that works. We have our registered apprenticeship program now, which is for persons 17 to 150. It doesn't have a cap, a limit. So once you're over 17 years, you can come, 17 years old, you can come, you can sign up for the registered apprenticeship program. It's similar to the SLTOP. However, in this case, you do not need the CXC. If you come and you don't have any CXCs, we administer what we call our diagnostic assessment. Once you get over 25, it's a basic grade 9 maths and English exam. Once you get over 25, you are eligible to participate in this program. Outside of the registered apprenticeship program, we have, if you have left school for quite some time, and you probably dropped out, you never get the chance to finish 5th form, and you're out there wondering, boy, how can I get some assistance? You can reach out to Heart again. We have our National Service Corps program that focuses on unattached youth and at-risk youth. And so once you're between the ages of 17 to 29, you can participate in our National Service Corps program. If you left school and you have a disability and you feel as if there's no hope for your situation, I want you to know that this is the same heart that says, no man left behind. And we are not leaving behind anyone at all. And so if you have a disability, you can come to the Heart NSTA Trust. You can apply for our empowerment program, and you can participate in that program. You get core skills training, and you also get the opportunity to get valuable work exposure, and you receive a stipend each month. You must be between the ages 17 to 34 to participate in our empowerment program. Now, if you left university, you just leave NCU, you finish your thing at the University of West Indies, and you're looking for graduation, I think, come November, somewhere along that time, and you're wondering what to do. You can reach out to the Heart NSTA Trust. You can apply for a graduate work experience program, which is for persons 17 to 29. This program runs for 6 months, and you get valuable work experience, and you also receive a stipend each month. The truth is, we have programs geared to treat with every group of young people leaving school at this time. So we want you to come over, get some more information, because I could talk about so many other things, but because of time, I'm just summarizing and giving you an idea of what's going on at this great entity known as the Heart NSTA Trust.
All right, and already we have a parent here who is proud past trainee of Ebony Park.
Let's
go. Yes, and just in case you missed it, Mrs. Minot, Heart has it's an alumni program.
Yes, we have alumni program.
Right, it was shared today on their social. So you want to connect with them, register, so they can provide you with ongoing support.
Just come over to the office, man.
Mm-hmm. All right. Shireen is already converted. Is Shireen or Charlene? I plan to go there soon because a degree seems a thing of the past. A skill is definitely power. And we have Khadijah, who is so true. I'm doing a 6 weeks course in cooking. You get everything free. All right. Fantastic. All right. I was going to wait until later, but let me just share that we are giving you the tip of the iceberg now with Heart, because we have pulled together a dedicated segment for next Thursday where we're going to be zoning in on higher education virtual showcase. And we have Heart, we have UCC, as well as Shortwood. because we are making sure that everyone who wants to get into the education field get access to the valuable training resources that are available. So we're going to be zoning in on those opportunities that are in Clarendon. So there's no excuse. All right. So we're making sure that you get access to all of that information so that you can make informed choices to move your lives forward. So, Thebram, back to you. What should parents and guardians know about identifying the best fit pathway for their teen or young adult? Because let's face it, not all of us are academically inclined.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So let me tell you that Heart is a one-stop shop, you know, and I tell people all the time that before you go into training, it is extremely important that career counseling takes place. You find that you have many persons who go into different skills, or they may take on university, and then at the end of the journey, they're like, I don't want to do this. So Heart has put what we call career counseling in place to ensure that your child is aligned to the skill that they are applying for. So we have what we call at the parish office career services officers. And so before persons apply or before persons start the process, I am recommending that you come to the parish office, you have a conversation with the counselor and allow your child to go through the career counseling process to eliminate future problems and to ensure that they're moving along the right pathway as it relates to their personal development and their professional development. Now, in that session with the counselor, the potential trainee will have to do what we call a psychometric assessment. It is an assessment that really looks at simple things. It assesses your personality and aligns that with a career pathway. I can tell you this, that I have done that assessment numerous times, probably about 4 times. And it's not something you can cheat. It's simple questions. They ask you your favorite color. They ask you what type of music you like. It's those types of questions. And let me tell you something. When I completed the assessment, I found out that I was in the right career. I was aligned pretty well. And so I trust the assessment. And I am recommending that before you move any further, even if you don't want your child to come to the Heart NSTA Trust and take up TVET, but before they go any further, allow them to come and do that psychometric assessment. I think it does wonders for your child as they move forward professionally.
Indeed. All right. As we prepare to close out this segment, this is Community Corner. Our business here is to connect you with resources, to facilitate collaboration so we can move forward together. What role can schools and communities play in guiding youth towards purposeful career and skills development? All
right, you see this question now? This is an exciting question for me because you see Clarendon, I have to big up Clarendon, you know. Yes, man, I'm big up Clarendon because you see the schools, all the high schools in Clarendon. I can tell you that every single principal know my name. And I'm talking from the primary level up to the high school level. Every single principal can tell you about Mr. Brown because the schools in Clarendon are working. They have their TVET days. They invite me in as guest speaker. They invite members of my team. I can tell you that these schools, they have their career fairs and their career days. They invite our counselors in to do the psychometric assessment with the students. And when the students reach 5th form, they invite us in again to do the diagnostic assessment. So if persons fail they fail the CXCs, which we hope is not the case for individuals, but if it does happen, they can have an easy matriculation process into TVET, into skills training at the Heart NSTA Trust. Now let me say this, Mr. Balvin McKenzie the boss as it comes on to community development. He ensures through our CDCs, our DACs, our PYCs, all of these different clubs. He ensures that the information is disseminated. And I can tell you that Clarendon has one of the most organized set of community development officers under the Social Development Commission that work with the community to ensure that information is shared. We have a MOU with SDC, and I can tell you that when we have our meetings, it's just some exciting experiences because the trust and SDC along with the community, we're doing something great. So I don't have a lot of issues when it comes on to sharing information and persons getting access to TVET or getting access to our job placement programs. It is something that is going on very well within the Clarendon space. And the only thing I hope is that it continues. You know, big up Mr. Mackenzie and the work that he does at the Social Development Commission.
Indeed, Clarendon, indeed. All
yes,
right. Just Lewin in the chat, big up our schools in Clarendon. Stacy, your question, your concern was actually answered while Mr. Brown was sharing just now. That's why Heart need to go in the schools where they can do hands-on training. They've got that. All right, Samantha. We need courses to be online and self-paced for us 9 to 5 people. Sir Brown, what do you say?
We have online programs, man. A lot of online programs, especially for persons who are working. So we have an entire department in the case. You see, I'm just trying to, it's because of time, I'm trying to hold it, but just for 1 minute. So we have what we call our workforce training. And so with that modality, we target persons who are working and we have our online training. And so reach out to us at the office and I will put you onto the officer and you can have further conversations. And we're offering over 15 courses right now at the parish office online. And that is not speaking to what's happening at Ebony Park, what's happening at Old Harbor, and the other institutions that are pushing this mandate, because we have been mandated to do this. So big things are going, man. Reach out to us.
Heart's got it locked. All right. Let's bring on back our other panelists. Chevelle, we need you back on screen. Let's see your beautiful face. All right, she will check it out. All right. Audrey Gay says you have online for person over 60 years.
You never hear me say 150. You never listen to me, you never listen to me, Audrey. When people up to 150.
All right. So no one left behind. All right. We did promise you that we would be taking care from early childhood all the way up. So we are delivering on that. All right, so as we prepare to round out, let's hear from our guests. What one message would you like to leave with parents and educators as they prepare for the start of school year? Starting with early childhood, Chevelle. What's your one message?
I would just say to them, just be confident. A lot of you've been doing all of the right things. And just keep an open mind. And as we start early intervention, early screenings, we can do even greater things as they matriculate to primary school, high school, and life.
Indeed. All right. Thank you, Samantha. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, everyone. And know that those who sent in their entries will subscribe because they want to know whether or not they'll be getting those vouchers. Your message, Lady Lewin.
Well, I want to say to our parents, especially, minimize the anxiety and just talk with your child about the expectations. Talk with the family members, walk through the plans. What are you planning to do? What will it be like? And if you have any concerns, remember those orientation sessions, if you miss them, I know some are coming up next week. If you can't be there, ask somebody to get there with your child or, to fill in for you and just try to balance. Talk with your guidance counselors. They have a myriad of information to provide you with. And of course, our psychosocial sessions coming up in that first week to guide you through. So take it easy, parents. Communicate, work with each other, and you got this. September morning, you have it locked.
No need to stress. Remember, you are already blessed. All right. All right. So, Brown, your message. But before you give your message, answer Shirley. Does HEART offer employment in Clarendon? That is for career development.
Yes. We have our job placement services. So you can come over and get some more information on that.
Go right ahead with your message.
Yes. For those young persons who would have just left high school, for some of you who are discouraged, I want you to know that it's never over. Always remember that victory loves preparation. And so while you may be feeling down right now, I guarantee that if you come over to the HEART NSTA Trust, let us have a conversation, let us put a plan together. I am absolutely certain that your dreams will still come to reality. It is never over. Let us just come together, put a plan, come and access the numerous services that we have that are free to you, and let's see a dream come to life.
That's right. And we're rounding out with Sir Barrington Richardson, the head of our Region 7, Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information.
Wow. I could sit here and listen to all
the
my
region of
panelists.
purpose.
Yes, I feel empowered as the leader of the region because of the people around me. And so let me say to all our parents, to all our teachers, you are in this to win it, and you are not in it alone. You have a region, you have a team that is able, ready to serve you. I say to our parents, it's time to go back to the routine of school, usher the children back into the routine of going to bed on time, releasing the gadgets slowly so that they can become in the frame of mind for school. School is ready to receive you. School is ready to empower your children. Be confident enough to know that no man is an island and no man stands alone. As a village across the parish of Clarendon, we are here to serve and to ensure that all our children attain and achieve their maximum potential, because we are invested to make it happen for our parish, for our region, and for our Jamaica, land we love.
Well said. All right. And Melissa sharing Big Up HEART Trust, proud past student now working in my area of study. And she's also feeling better going into September morning. Mission accomplished. That was the aim this evening. And I trust that all our parents, educators are feeling likewise as we move forward. Just remember that you don't have to do this alone. There's support out there. All right. And see a lot of thanks going up in the comments for the invaluable information that you would have shared. Amazing teamwork across Clarendon. And we're just happy here at Serenity Resource Connected to highlight the awesome things that are happening and how it is that you are pulling together without me even asking you, because I know you're able to share, because that's just how it is in terms of the teamwork. HEART is in the heart of everything, like salt. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. We're out there.
That's right. So we thank you so much. And for those who are able to join us live, or if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. And let me officially thank our panelists from Team Early Childhood Commission, as well as the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, Region 7.
Let's go.
Purpose, position to serve.
Yes.
All right. It's all about service. And HEART NSTA Trust for such insightful and practical guidance. And those in the comments have been endorsing that. So again, we have achieved what we set out to do in this space, but I cannot end without saying a special thank you to JPS for supporting our back to school book voucher giveaway. All right, so let me thank you, Team JPS. And remember, if you entered, winners will be announced on our WhatsApp channel and social media pages. So make sure you're following Serenity Resource Connector across all platforms. Thank you again, Samantha, for making that plug earlier. So this conversation reminds us that readiness is a shared responsibility, as you would have heard throughout the conversation. From the home to the school to the community, we are all a part of that change that we want to see. So until next time, which is next Thursday, God willing, I'm Winsome Sherrier Witter, and it's always a pleasure to serve you here, encouraging you to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay connected through Serenity Resource Connector, where digital empowerment meets community impact. Thank you again. Have yourselves a fantastic rest of the night. All right, team. The SRC Community Corner Live Forum is brought to you on third Thursdays at 8 p.m. Visit our website at www.serenityresourceconnector.com and subscribe to receive our weekly blog post. Join us again on Thursday at 8 p.m. for our Community Development Live Forum. Thank you for watching.